Hi people, Tracey Hudson from the HR department here. Let's talk TUPE. If you are an employer and your business wins or loses contracts when you have staff assigned to those contracts, or where you're thinking about selling your business as a going concern or buying a business that employs staff, then you need to know about TUPE. There are two scenarios to think about. Firstly, a business transfer. This is when a business or part of a business is transferred from one employer to a new employer as a going concern. The second scenario is a service provision change. So this is a situation in which you're outsourcing or insourcing or second generation contracting out. There must be an organised grouping of employees assigned to the work, and the client must intend that the activities will, following the service provision change, be carried out by the transferee. So if there are no identifiable group of employees who are delivering the work, then this is excluded. We don't have to worry about it. The activities after the transfer must be fundamentally the same as before the transfer, which means that if the services that's provided is different or has been split between different providers and fragmented, then TUPE might not apply. So what does this all mean for the employees? Well, their terms and conditions of employment are protected, so the new employer can't change them to the detriment of the employee. They also keep their length of service. Employees have a lot of protection in TUPE scenarios. So what do you as an employer need to think about? The liabilities transfer. So if you are taking on a company and there is an employee who's bringing a tribunal claim or has a grievance or undergoing disciplinary action or maybe off long-term sick, these are all risks that you are going to take on, so you need to do proper due diligence. You have to check the eligibility to work of the employees you're taking on. The other thing to think is that employees can object to the transfer. So they'd be deemed as having resigned and they don't get redundancy pay. But if you are relying on specific people for their specialist skills or knowledge, then consider that they might not actually transfer. If you've got staff currently working for you and by taking on this new business, you might double up in some areas, you can't just make the new staff redundant. You have to consider the entire team when starting a redundancy process. It's really complex, so please do get advice on it. You also need to go through a consultation process before taking on the transferring employees. If you're selling the business, you have to provide employee liability information, so things like identity of the employees, contact details, information relating to collective agreements, disciplinary actions, grievances, and any legal action that's been taken by those employees to date, or potential action that might occur post-transfer. It's costly if you don't provide this in a timely fashion. So do always remember, take proper advice on this stuff. I cannot emphasise enough how complex this area of law is. So it's important that you get proper advice from a HR specialist like me. So get in touch if you want to talk TUPE.